the GameStop headgear. Hold on
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one.
Now, I think, have you seen, like, I occasionally see people do podcasts and they have like the old-fashioned mic, but I guess it's high tech. Looks like I think Greg had one, didn't he? Mm-hmm. They work fairly well.
Fairly decent, but are you on a computer or are you on your iPad?
Computer.
Yeah, so it would plug in.
We're on Spectrum down here. We've had all kinds of issues.
Yeah. You're telling me
I was on a Zoom meeting and I had to go back to the iPad this morning.
Oh, really?
In and out.
Well, here comes Mr. Rocky.
Hello there.
How we doing, brother?
I'm great. How are you?
Excellent. I don't think Greg's joining us. He's down in Florida, in Miami.
Jet setters.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
Poor guy.
That's all the Sokolers are. A bunch of
I don't know about that. But we've got a whole lot of questions today. So be prepared for questions after questions. Okay, you guys ready? Randy, you're going to right out off the top here, so just keep your thinking hat going because we're going to tax
All right.
you. All right. Kev, you ready?
I am ready. You hear me okay?
I can hear you okay, yeah. Okay.
This is about as close as I can get to the mic.
Yeah, I'll go with you. Let me turn off my... There we go. Turn off. There's some. I'm hearing incoming email, so turn your email off.
Yeah, I turned that off.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Just hit mute.
News Radio 840 WHAS. Good Sunday morning. Bob Sokoler and the Louisville Real Estate Show here with you until the top of the hour. Hopefully you're having a good day and getting through the weather that we've been having over the past number of days. With us, Randy Rocky, Swan Financial. You can reach Randy anytime directly on his cell phone at 645-0736. Also, Kevin Dissler, who is with Pitt and Frank Attorneys at 895-9900. They do great jobs at closings.
Morning.
They have multiple offices as well. And certainly there's one office near you for a closing. You can pick the closing attorney that you want, and that's a great way to do it. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
Good morning, Bob.
I think my son Greg has the day off because he's out of town. So we wish him he stays safe, and he'll be back next week. All right, let's start right off the top. Something a little bit on the humorous side. Did you all see the Bernie Sanders with the mittens on in a rocking chair photo that made its way around the internet?
The memes on everything.
The meme on everything, yeah. So the latest popping up meme of Bernie is sitting on the front porch of a house that was on the MLS. I don't know what city it actually occurred in, but it helped to sell the house because it got attention to the fact that Bernie was sitting on the house, and that got people looking at it. The photo, the house is $144,900. It shows an image of Sanders on the front porch, and another picture shows him in the kitchen. And apparently, a post on Instagram brought in 50,000 likes in one day and helped to sell the house.
Oh, wow.
Just goes to show innovative marketing.
Being creative.
It's exactly right. All right, so our first, we got a bunch of questions coming in. And again, we're doing these shows via COVID, and because of that, we don't have the access from phone calls inbound. So we asked you, if you've got a question, send us your email with your question, and its subject line could be question for radio, and send it to bob@wesellouisville.com. And the first one comes in with regards to a mortgage. And Randy, this is right up your alley. So Bobby is asking about what it will cost him. He's pre-approved for $200,000, but he likes a house out there that's actually $210,000. What will the difference in payment be for every $10,000 he increases? Hopefully he can afford it. He's pre-approved to go up a little higher. But again, $10,000 based on today's interest rates, which I should check in with you. They're pretty much holding a little below, a little above 3% based on your credit score. Am I pretty close on that?
That is correct. NMLS number 2473. And what It's funny you mention that because I break it down per 1,000 or per 10,000 with whatever someone is actually putting down their down payment. But in a normal credit score situation where if they're around a 720 and they still have PMI, private mortgage insurance, they put less than 20% down, you're looking all in about $5.50 per 1,000 or $55 per 10,000 per month is what you're looking at.
$55 increase per month per 10,000. That's out the door.
Yes.
There's no other extra fees, hidden stuff, taxes, insurance, and all that stuff. Okay.
And PMI. And get PMI. Into, if you don't have a PMI private mortgage situation, you're more in the 50 range or $5 per 1,000 or $50. And if you're into a lower credit score FHA scenario where you're in a lower credit score, you get up into the $60 per 10,000 or $6 per 1,000 range.
Got it. And will that extrapolate out, Randy? So, for example, if someone wants to go $20,000, so we're looking at $120 a month more for 20,000.
That is correct.
Okay.
It'll be either 100, 110, or 120. That's right. 50, 55, or 60.
And you say $1,000 is equal to how much of an increase?
Either $5 per month, $5.50 per month, or $6 per month.
Based on what type of mortgage. Okay. So, folks, this is a really good rule of thumb for all of you to think about as you move forward and look for homes, because the homes that you will like may not be exactly in your price range. Check with your lender. And again, I recommend Randy over at Swan Financial. We'll be giving his number out again. But certainly this gives you the ability to at least raise your search by small increments, but at the same time, you'll know what that will increase your mortgage payment by. All right. Once again, if you want to see, by the way, a replay of this show, we actually are recording this and we'll put it up on YouTube. You can go to LouisvilleAnswers.com and you can see the sweater that Kevin is wearing right now today, and also the sweater that Randy is wearing right now. It's another dapper dress. LouisvilleAnswers.com will get you to the redirect, which is our YouTube channel. Also, by the way, if you want to see what sellers are saying about us, go to LouisvilleSellersTalk.com or LouisvilleZillow.com is where our reviews are. All right, back to the questions. This one comes up for attorney Kevin. You ready? It's a question from Ashley, Mr. Disler. A few years ago, Ashley says, my neighbors built a wooden fence around their home. And apparently Ashley has a great relationship with her neighbors. But her husband and her just realized that the fence is actually built 3 feet onto their property. I guess he didn't do a survey of the land, or the fence company didn't do a survey, which is usually pretty typical. Now, apparently, this neighbor doesn't actually use those 3 feet on his side of the fence, of their side of the fence, but now they can no longer access them. And I've heard, she says, that he can now claim ownership over that land through, she says, what she believes is adverse possession. Can he really take the land even though he's not doing anything with those 3 feet of land? And again, she just indicates a few years ago. Kevin, how would you respond to that, or anybody else who has that as a problem?
Well, people always raise the issue of adverse possession. It's kind of like an urban myth. You know, it does exist, but the test for it is so difficult. It's really hard for anybody to prove a case. It has to be basically that, you know, Bob, you know it's your backyard. I know it's your backyard. I tell you I'm putting a fence up, taking 3 feet of your backyard. I'm telling you I'm excluding you from it, and you don't do anything about it for the prescribed period of time, which I think was 15. I think it's down to 10 now. But
10
you have
years?
to have a continuation of ownership.
10 years.
I believe it was down from 15 to 10 years.
Okay.
But in this case, there is a situation whereas, you know, the best way to handle that is when someone does this first, like you mentioned, get a survey before you put a fence up.
Right.
The surveys will cost $400, $500 usually. But without that, what you can do if you're on good relations with your neighbor is just work out an easement agreement that you both recognize the fence is on your property. that they have the right to go onto your property, maintain the fence. But if they have to repair it or replace it, that they will put it back within the property line. And that's usually the best way to do it. Adverse possession does exist. Sometimes you'll have a roadway that'll be blocked one day a year. Like I used to be a member of a church that did that, just to establish that one day a year they blocked off everybody's rights to use it. So you can have a claim for adverse possession, but those claims are very difficult to maintain, and you just have to have the right fact situation, which Ashley's was not. But I would advise her to seek out counsel to come up with an easement agreement.
Yeah, and I'll be giving Kevin's number out to get some direction in just a minute, as well as Randy's number. Incidentally, if your home is not sold or you're thinking of selling, we can help you. Go to LouisvilleHouseDoctors.com. That's LouisvilleHouseDoctors.com and fill out our form. And yes, we do make house calls, and no, we do not charge for those house calls. All right, back to these emails on questions. This goes to Randy Rocky from Swan Financial. And apparently Arnold says I made a mortgage payment, but the loan servicer is saying they did not receive it. And he's afraid it's going to lower his credit score. Will not receiving one payment, Randy Rocky, reduce your credit score? What's the guidelines on this?
A lot. It can be as much as 100-point difference. And having a 1 times 30 is what is called in the mortgage terminology of you're more than 30 days past due. On a 1 times 30 is not good at all for your credit.
It
so
will lower it 100 points?
Oh, it could up to 100 points. I just had a situation come up where somebody missed a credit card payment, and he was a 771 score, and now he is a 640 score.
Oh, geez. All right, so
one credit card payment.
That is shocking. So let's first address what Arnold needs to do, and then I want to ask you a question that could help every single person who's listening who has a mortgage payment. So what should Arnold do having missed this one payment, and apparently his score could be lowered? Does he appeal to the mortgage company? Does he try to show payment?
It's called a servicer. Yes, he would appeal to the servicer and say, hey, here's a copy of my check. Is there any way we can just take it off? I don't even mind paying the late fee, but I really need this. It's detrimental to my credit. And then what I would recommend for him, and I recommend for everyone, is do an auto draft out of your checking account every month. So that's the way I would handle that situation, just like I'd advised my client on the credit card as well. And so he's sending that into the credit card company. A lot of times they will not change it, but you do have situations where they will.
If you are able to prove it, and I don't know how you'd have a copy of the check if it hadn't been cashed and they claim they never received it, which is what I presume.
That's a good point.
I don't know how you do it, but I think it does make for your second part of this answer, which is where I was going, for auto draft or auto deduction or auto pay. And I'm thinking, and I do that as well. That way there is no mistake. It can't be done. Now, I use software like Quicken, and I have it set up so it automatically sends it every month. I'm a little concerned that even then it could get snagged somehow. And I think your point.
Great question.
I think your point is maybe the auto draft is more important. You think?
Oh, 100%, because you make a great point. Let's say it doesn't come out then.
Yeah.
Well, if you signed an agreement with the servicer that, hey, I wanted this auto draft, and they just missed it, then they have to take that back out. They have to report to the credit bureau that you're not a 1 times 30, or there's some serious legal ramifications to that.
Kevin, you had something to say on this.
I was just going to mention that, when you're bringing a couple points, one is I had a Christmas card for my daughter in Jacksonville, Florida that was postmarked December 19th.
Yeah.
I received it last week.
We received it last week?
The Postal Service had issues picking up last week.
Wow.
1 month after it was actually postmarked, so that when the person said they mailed it, they very well may have, and it's just taking that. And the other thing is that they're getting behind in payoffs. and processing because they're processing forbearance requests. So we had talked about that issue many times before, but apparently they're getting inundated now, and they're just processing those at the moment. And some of the other issues are kind of taking second place.
Sounds like you're even on a Sunday morning, Kevin, your phone is ringing. That's interesting. Go ahead, keep going.
It's probably the minister wondering where I am this morning.
Yeah.
But I would just, we talked beforehand about forbearance and given COVID and people being behind on mortgage payments. And just in the last week, and this was a major, large national service, and they're saying that because of that processing payoffs, processing payments, they're a little bit more behind than they usually are. So it very well may be that the gentleman who called you up to talk to it, they may actually receive and process it. They just may need, find out a week or two from now that it actually gets processed.
Interesting point. I think, though, what I'm taking away with this right now, the importance of auto deduction. Can Randy or Kevin, can you see any reason why we shouldn't do that? I mean, the only concern I have is if for some reason the money is not there and they deduct, and then you've got a non-sufficient fund label, which becomes more costly on top of everything else.
I don't. Here is the one thing I'll caution everyone of, and Kevin would elaborate on this as well, I know, is wire fraud. So if you get something on email that says, hey, you need to change your auto deduction to this account number, it's probably going to Costa Rica, literally, or somewhere like that, and somebody's grabbing money from you. So I cannot emphasize enough, if you ever receive an email, I cannot emphasize enough, an email on any type of wiring of any money, you contact that company to confirm it, and then you call them again, and you go on Google to make sure that you're calling the company both times, the actual business phone number. And I could tell you stories that would raise a lot of people, and they would just shake their head. And I don't want to do it on a Sunday morning, but it's a $1 billion industry, wire fraud in the mortgage industry now.
Well,
a year.
And I know we all are aware of that in this industry. I will tell you, we're late to go to a break, but I got to tell you this. My brother he's using both of the different companies that are out there. I'm using one, but he's using both that will monitor your credit rating. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I don't want to give them a plug, but they're credit monitoring companies. He got an alert that someone had opened an account in his name with Bank of America. So he called them, and then he found out that someone fraudulently filed a tax return in his name. So, your point about wire fraud is so important. And also, folks, and I'm not a big fan of spending money needlessly, but these two companies are out there in this day and age with COVID and so many people, all these scammers looking to take your bucks, that we need some added protection. If you want to send me an email, I'll send you the name of the companies. I don't own any stock in them. I just want to make sure everybody knows. Bob at WeSellLouisville.com, and then credit monitoring, and I'll get you those names back out to you. We're going to take a break. When we come back, 21 things a burglar won't tell you. Also, we're going to talk more with some of the questions that we've got for our folks here. Randy Rocky, Swan Financial, great guy, 645-0736. They do a great job getting it closed, getting the job done. So does Kevin Dissler, Pitt and Frank Attorneys, at 895-9900. And again, my son, Greg's out of town. But you can reach me anytime on my cell phone, because we are desperately looking for homes day and night. At 376-5483. My hello to Dr. Snell, who's my doctor, who I went to see this past week. He says, I hear you're looking for homes. He listens to our radio show all the time. So thanks for listening to Dr. Snell and all the other great folks that are out there. We're back in a moment on News Radio 840 WHAS. News Radio 840 WHAS, the Louisville Real Estate Show, here with you till the top of the hour. With us, Randy Rocky, Swan Financial, at 645-0736. Kevin Dissler, Pitt and Frank Attorneys, 895-9900. You can reach me, Bob Sokoler, anytime at 376 5483. And our thanks to Barbara Corcoran, who's from Shark Tank fame. And certainly, I think we're scheduled to do another commercial with her in the next couple of months. Looking forward to seeing her. All right. So one of the things that we are looking for always is how to maintain safety in your home. And in this case, 21 things a burglar's not going to tell you. You know, millions of homes are going to be burglarized this year. And here's how to make sure that yours is not one of them. First of all, your front door. This may seem pretty obvious, but intruders come in through the door and if they see it's open, and that happens, or unlocked, and I can't begin to tell you how many people have told me they leave their door unlocked. This is crazy, folks. In this day and age, you need to make sure you lock your front door, and these days you can get electronic locks. Randy, Kevin, do you use any of the electronic locks on your front door these days that hook up to your security system or even a Nest or so? No, that looks like a no.
I don't use electronic locks, but I have cameras all on the outside, and I'm very. We got broken into, and I've never seen my wife's face like that in my entire life. She was. It was a big violation for her. So we at both our homes we're very protective with ADT.
Good, yeah. And I've got Kev. You got coverage on your place?
We have 4 cameras and we have a burglar alarm system, and
right.
It's just, I think in these days and these times, you just have to invest in it. It's not that, and actually what you're talking about, the Nest products, it's really not that expensive to put them in.
No, and Ring has a product as well. One of the things that's next on our list is to put some sort of visualization camera on that front porch, because nearly a third of people have packages, of all people have packages stolen who get them delivered. Certainly, you want to be able to.
1/3?
1/3. This is according to a most recent report.
Wow.
Yeah. So you want to make sure, and again, remember, we're not just talking about residential homes. They're in the city and the variety of things. So that's another thing you need to be careful of. Also, your garbage cans, something else. Property crimes have been decreasing steadily for the past decade, according to the most recent FBI data, but that doesn't mean you can't let your guard down. Setting out a box for your new 60-inch HGTV or the newest high-end gaming console at the curb is basically advertising. I think this makes sense to everybody. You're advertising, hey, look what I just got. So that should go. Makes a lot of sense. It does make a lot of sense. So box it, tear it up, put it inside a trash can so you're not screaming it out to everybody. Also, your street, thanks to better increased traffic, homes in high visibility places like on corner lots are far less likely to be broken into, but there are simply too many potential ways to be seen. Townhomes, houses in the middle of the block, or houses in cul-de-sacs are much better targets because they're in many cases private. Also, when it comes to your health, the opioid epidemic is still raging. There's theft of drugs. I have yet to understand how and why we let these things in our medicine cabinets when we have maybe company over, not with COVID at all, but cleaners. It could be a variety of people, even theft via breaking in, like Randy was just talking about. Breaking into your car. I know some people are still leaving their cars unlocked. Randy, Kevin, you guys, do we consciously make an effort to lock our cars?
Never.
You don't?
Oh, yeah, I'd never leave my car unlocked. No.
Good. All right, that's a good thing. Your garage door openers, another problem. If you've ever leave your house keys just lying around in the open, you would never do that, but people leave their garage door openers visible in cars. So think about hiding those so they're not visible, because they could take it, they could follow you. I know they could run a plate. These days it's more common than others. Make sure your windows are locked. Make sure that your doorbell has, or if you can afford it, a doorbell camera. Also make friends with neighbors who live around you. I have a neighbor across the street, and we have this thing: when they go away, we watch out for them, and we go away, they watch for us. This goes.
You have friends, Bob?
I know, 1 or 2 of them. Just rare. Yeah.
On the payroll.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you.
Do not post vacation pictures while you're out of town. When you get back, but not while you're out of town. Make sure you lock up your utility shed if you have one outside. Your neighborhood crime history, keep track of that, and make sure your alarm system is in working order. Make sure if you go out of town, you can arrange to have someone cut your lawn. This is old school, but cut your lawn, get your mail, and do the best you can in terms of following what your mom told you or your dad told you. And it always helps to have a dog that's available for you to bark their head off if they see somebody approaching.
You've got two rather large dogs.
I do. And my neighbor's not thrilled about it, but it helps keep people away. All right. Let's go back to the emails that we are getting in. We only have a couple of minutes left. Sally has wrote in recently about to sell her home. What paperwork is she going to need? Let's start with Randy from your end, from the mortgage lender side, and then we'll go to Kevin from the closing side. What paperwork was Sally going to need to get from start to finish?
If she's not self-employed, W-2s, the last 2 years W-2s, 2 most recent pay stubs, who we're going to use for homeowners insurance. If they're bringing money to the table, we have to verify where it came from, the account. And that's pretty much in a driver's license. We need their driver's license and possibly Social Security card. We don't have to have that, but we would need that. That's the basics.
And you said if not self-employed. What if you are self-employed? I'm asking this for
COVID has made it a lot more strenuous. You have to have a profit and loss statement verified from your accountant.
Updated.
Right, updated, because they're thinking 2020 you might have not have done as well because of COVID. You have to have a P&L that is verified by your accountant and 3 months business bank statements to verify that the deposits are correct, that they are moving forward. Your gross sales are where you say they are.
Got it. All right. And then Kevin, your thoughts. What for closing paperwork does the person need?
Well, she said that thing that she was selling, in which case the same thing. The IDs are a requirement, and we do have some people, especially with COVID, are going around with expired IDs. So we would hate for them to have to cancel a closing just for them to get new IDs. Usually, it's a good idea if they get their owner's policy from their existing house if any issues come up.
You broke up there for a second. You said
about this moment ago, the difficulty with payoffs.
You broke up for a second. You said their owners. And you broke up.
Okay. If they have an owner's title insurance policy from when they purchased their home, sometimes it's good to have that. It can give us the ability to determine it a little bit quicker, do the research that we need to do. With payoffs, it's a very good idea to get us the information and authorization so we can start the process of getting their payoffs. A lot of the mortgage lenders have fallen behind.
We just lost Kevin again.
Is we need a good account statement. Just a little bit.
Go ahead, pick up with we need a good account statement, Cap.
Yes, a good account statement.
Wait, we lost you there. Get closer because we
mortgage.
Pick up with we need a good account statement.
Well, an account statement, if you've got a first mortgage, you've got a home equity line, if you can get us that information as soon as possible. We also need your authorization signed off. We need the last 4 digits of your social, because anytime, say, Bob Sokoler sells property, I'm assuming there are no other Bob Sokolers here in town. We have a lot of people named William Johnson. We have to go through a process of clearing a number of liens. The quicker we get the information in, the better off we are at processing it. So, that's the main thing. We're having a little bit of difficulty right now. A lot of the banks are working from home, most of their personnel. So it's really difficult to get from A to B.
Got it.
I am sorry. I thought it was for the buyer side. If it's a seller side, we don't need. But they basically do that with the title
this was
company.
for the buyer side, but I think it's
the buyer side.
It was for the buyer side. So you're on target. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Our thanks to Kevin Dissler at Pitt and Frank Attorneys at 895-9900. Thank you, Kevin, for being here, sir. Also, Randy Rocky, Swan Financial, 645-0736. Both Randy over at Swan, Kevin over at Pitt and Frank Attorneys, great folks, and they know what they're doing and do a great job. If you'd like to get in contact with me, because we're continuing to need to sell homes, we need to list them, you can reach me at 376-5483, or you can go to LouisvilleHouseDoctors.com. If you want to see what buyers are saying about us, go to LouisvilleBuyersTalk.com, or sellers, go to LouisvilleSellersTalk.com, and go to Louisville Zillow if you want to see what people are writing about us with our reviews. We are out of time. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. We'll see you next Sunday right here on News Radio 840 WHAS.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you,
Have
Rand.
a great day, guys.
You too, buddy.
Thank
Kev,
you.
you broke up a little bit, but I'm going to clean it up so it'll look like it is perfect in post.
What are you on up there? Are you Spectrum?
I am, I'm
line?
Spectrum. Yeah, I'm Spectrum upstairs. I'm at my house right now, but Spectrum upstairs. And I wonder, do you ever do a speed test? Go to speedtest.net and run a speed test on your computer. See what your speed is. I'm buying the 300 meg down per whatever monthly fee is, like $90 or something. Do you know what you're using?
I think we had 200, and I thought we bumped it up to 600, but we have three people off of it. And our software program's cloud-based, and our phones are on it. So it's every afternoon when people either come home from work, they get on Netflix for whatever reason. They're trying to sell us a direct dedicated line, copper.
Yeah.
Is that inadvisable?
I don't know. I know AT&T with their fiber is outperforming everybody else. Greg's got it over at Norton Commons. I don't know what the cost is, but if we could get it, I'd be on that in a minute. That's 1,000 down and 1,000 up, I think. Yeah, I know.
Wow.
It's
not that much money either.
I don't think so. No. But that's the wave of the future.
Well, and apparently we were sold this, and of course, back then the Spectrum line had a lot of capacity, and now that everybody's home doing Zoom meetings and teaching and Netflix, it tends to every afternoon starts to do this. So
yesterday, there was a cable cut in New York, a Verizon cable, and Zoom was a disaster. You couldn't get on. It was just worthless. So it's
kind of at the mercy of your internet provider. I mean,
yeah, you are. All right, buddy boy, you take care of yourself.
Well, all right, take care.
Be good. Yeah, I'll see you around. Okay, doke.